Welcome to 13. Merry Christmas, everybody, or Christmas Eve. 13 now drops on Sundays, so I was going to do it in the new year, but here we go. Um, let's see. This year, gig economy stuff. Lyft, new CEO. Uber finally reaches profitability? Question mark. Um, DoorDash becomes a staple name. Instacart finally went public, and we have market saturation like we've never seen everywhere, and we have extra oversaturation from a lot of people who have crossed illegally. We have 13 million illegals in this country right now, and while this isn't about that, it does affect those of us who full time do gig work because obviously something very clear to me has been happening is that, and I've been told, I mean, everybody seems to be aware of this, like, why is DoorDash not cracking down on the illegals using these accounts? And again, there's nothing against illegals, but I think we all are a bit drained with how many we've allowed and how bad we've allowed this situation to become. Especially those of us in the gig economy. I think that we feel it more than most because the barrier to entry here is all you need to do is be in this country and rent an account through a social media platform. I mean, you can get a DoorDash account on Facebook, on Instagram. You can go on a social media platform, an account to use, link your bank to it, and all of a sudden you can just work. And some of these illegals, even in my market, but especially in other bigger cities, and they're suffering even harder because these people are taking the no tip orders that had this triple oversaturation not happened, at some point these platforms would have said people are onto this. They're not taking these no tip orders, but they're loving this right now. I mean, I did my test with DoorDash here recently, and I did 8 and I did a ninth shift last night. Now, last night I saw a lot more volume. However, the offers weren't great. What I can say is I saw more money behind them, but I mean, they were going way far. Everything was 12 to 19 miles. And some of it was getting over $1 a mile. But, to me, again, I'm not a big fan of driving my car around city streets for crap money. Um, there's something about, like for me, again, this triple oversaturation, what I had said about Instacart going public, and did Uber really make a profit, or did they just kind of sell off some stuff? Where are we really at? The bottom line is all of us gig workers know where this is coming from. It's coming from our end. And for companies like Uber who now claim profitability, it's because they sold off a lot of their projects, let's call them. I'm not ever going to give them the satisfaction of calling them a tech company ever again, because Uber is not a tech company. Uber is not a tech company. Uber is a black boxed algorithm served up and put pretty little bow on it as a SaaS platform, a software as a service, and that's all it is. It's a digital middleman that all happens in a contained algorithmic box. That's it. There's no technology, and nothing that they offer is technology. We should all recognize this too. When they acquired Corner Shop, that's not technology. They just acquired a, a Peruvian company that was doing amazing, if for no other reason than just to shut it down. I mean, Uber could have started Uber Grocery and just called it that, Uber Grocery, instead of Corner Shop. And they have a database like nobody else. So, I mean, anything Uber launches on the app is going to get the best shot it can over anybody else that comes up with that idea. So, like we've seen Uber Connect 4 times launch on this app since 2018. Clearly, that's not a good idea, Uber. People don't like the sketchiness of taking packages from people, and something really sketchy's happened there. The first time you guys did it, it was a complete fail. The police were involved in the entire thing, and that was only in the Bay Area. You've since launched it 3 more times. It's just a failure. Autonomous vehicles, pure joke. So Uber's got its hand in that. Again, it's not tech though. Uber's just more sidelining investments, and it serves as a major distribution if somebody were to say, "Hey, let's start Uber grocery. Hey, let's do Uber helicopter." They've tried that. That fail. I was actually just joking and throwing off something off the top of my tongue, but the thing I threw off was helicopter, and they've actually done that. They were going to do VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, but instead it just became Uber helicopter. I mean, it's just such a joke, but the amount of people on the platform almost gives it justification. So it's like I can ask you the question, why did Uber buy Corner Shop? Because it didn't acquire a customer base, it didn't acquire a driver base. The way I see it, basically, Corner Shop was up and coming in Peru. It was killing it down in South America. And if Uber hadn't acquired it, either they would have come to the United States or another company would have acquired it. Maybe an Instacart or even a DoorDash. To me, it's almost like any of those companies I just named, whether it had been DoorDash, Instacart, or whether like it is Uber, any of those companies are best off to even pay the millions of dollars to acquire companies like Corner Shop just to shut them down. I mean, correct me correct me where I'm wrong here, guys, but we saw Corner Shop launch in about 20 US cities. It was around for about 6 months, and then it was just gone. And the people who were using Corner Shop, like, for one that I know that I've talked to firsthand about a lot of it, because we never had it in this market, but in the Phoenix market is, John Dash Theory TV. He was loving Corner Shop. He was making a lot of money, almost like the honeymoon period of a lot of apps. He was crushing it with Corner Shop, but then it just got the rug pulled under it. And now it's just like, well, groceries are available on Uber. It doesn't have that buzz anymore. It's not like, well, Corner Shop, look at it, you guys, it's a whole new thing. We can make some money. It's not like that. It just was bought out, it was integrated, and then it just kind of became part of Uber's not well paid another feature on the app. My biggest concern is with 13 million illegals in this country, and it is becoming a way bigger problem. So here I am addressing this because we also have allowed Uber Teen this year. I mean, this needs to be shut down by next year, and that's my little sidetrack on it because I'm focused on a lot of other things, but safety has always been priority one for me. And Uber Teen was the dumbest thing ever. It actually was the only thing I used to give Uber credit for was the fact that they always said no unaccompanied minors, period. Period. If you don't have an adult with you, you cannot ride Uber. Well, now they allow that, and we've seen enough incidents to know that this is not gonna work. I mean, we've already had kids kidnapped, we've had a kid killed, there are kids missing still. So it's not like even like they were kidnapped or taken by somebody and then they got back to where they're going, they're just gone now. I mean, this and we knew this would happen. I mean, we also just knew why Uber did it. Uber did it because they saw a gap in the amount of people getting driver's licenses when they turn 16. So of course, isn't Uber going to jump on that and say, "Listen, allow them to ride, and then by the time they're 18, 19, 20, they won't even need a car." And we know that that is kind of a trajectory that a lot of people would like to see us on is not just electric cars and autonomous cars, but they want to see less and less cars on the streets. For not only for pollution reasons, but safety reasons and just the way of the future moving. I think that they just want, in a perfect world, we would all be on buses. They would love that. And we would just all be riding buses. Um, but with that said, so I think a lot of people are waiting to see. We all know, look, if you've been doing this for a while, January can be extremely slow. I am of the opinion that normally before Thanksgiving, but definitely Thanksgiving till the New Year's, it's usually raging. You have your pick of apps because they're all going to do amazingly well. But right now, it has not been like that. People I know on DoorDash, I talk to people around the country about DoorDash, and people I know on DoorDash are making half of what they were year to year. Like right now, in this time of year, they're making about half of what they could last year. And what they're doing to fix it is just putting in more hours. Uber, DoorDash, they love this kind of stuff because they've got illegals taking the no tip orders. They've got people who have been veteran full-time DoorDashers taking crap they would never have taken a year ago. So how is DoorDash feeling? They're probably feeling very empowered. Is it a little bit scummy and beyond corporate scum? Yes. And I will say it's not even a little bit scummy. They know what they're doing. They are very calculated. Nothing being done in this country right now is being done for the workers. Everything, even down to New York City. Oh, this is for the workers. No, it's not. New York knows that. DoorDash knows that. The other companies know that. Nothing is for the workers. Nothing is for you, the gig worker. Nothing. Nothing. It's all for the companies, for the cities, and the money grabs will be starting next year. There's legislation coming down the pipe everywhere, you guys. I mean, like, people are pissed off. People are pissed off at these companies. States are mad that these companies have not followed through on any of their of the promises. They're pissed off. They're, and legislation door can never be shut. So the companies kind of got what they asked for, and we will see it play out, and we'll be here for it. In January, I got Kim Gavin, I got Mike Karubi, I got Karen Anderson. We're gonna all be talking about this stuff because as it happens, we're gonna be doing some lives and talking to you guys about this because there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. And we'll have to see how it plays out. The biggest factor I think right now that we need to take care of real quick because if not, it's going to be next to impossible to take care of it and shut it down. Sergio from the Rideshare guys said this many times, like, get the facial recognition going because we do have a ton of illegal people using accounts. It's not just a handful anymore. It's not just this in this city. It's everywhere in the country, and it's taking away from the work that is supposed to be offered to us who have legal vehicles, who have legal accounts, who are working these platforms legally. We can't earn like we used to anymore. So we need to move into the new year, and that needs to be the first thing taken care of on top of all the legislation that these companies have brought upon themselves. Next week will be the last 13 minutes of the year, and we will go out with a bang for sure. That's 13 minutes of news in just under 13 minutes. Peace.